Greetings, Flesh Wound Horror freaks, and welcome to Flesh Wound Horror Live. I am Flesh Wound Dan, joined by producer Todd.
Good evening.
So before we get into tonight's little news bit discussion, I do want to give a programming note. Shortly after this, in an hour exactly from now, the Hatman Collection update will be live. Three shows, two live tonight. So hopefully you guys aren't sick of us already. But with that being said, we'll get right into the news that we have for you guys. And very sad. Julian Sands, of course, horror icon. We'll talk a little bit about him here in a second. But 65 years old, and he went missing on January 13th during a hike in the Baldy Bowl area of the San Gabriel Mountains in Southern California, Mount Baldy, which we'll talk a little bit about that. Now, I am a hiker. I'm nowhere near the skill level that Julian Sands obviously was, but I am familiar. I've never hiked there per se. I have been to that area, though, and it's uniquely dangerous. You kind of think, California, but it's a weird area, isn't it, Ty? Because when you're up high at night, it can be like -5 degrees. It's very unusual. The way
I don't get that high at night.
Oh yeah, no, but this is, very.
Yeah, I don't really have a lot of the hiking knowledge on it.
It's a very dangerous area. A lot of people have disappeared. A lot of people have died. January 13th, we're getting
16 days.
Yeah, we're over 2 weeks now. That's
not
good.
Here's the thing, because they did start the search up again, because 4 days ago, one of the other missing hikers was discovered and rescued. So as of 4 days ago, they had sent another search party out on so that would have been 3 days ago, to continue the search. And his friends are like, he's an experienced hiker. I mean, so there's still hope that they can find him.
Yeah.
I mean, yesterday our only real update is Julian Sands' hiking partner has stated, obviously something has gone wrong. I mean, he is experienced, but
there's no update as far as maybe he was depressed or suffered any kind of recent loss where he might just, gone off into the woods to get away from everything, or,
No, and there was more than just him that got, went missing. It wasn't like he was hiking,
Yeah. The problem is, I know there've been some very some landslide sort of stuff that's been going on in the area, and there's just a lot of stuff that could happen. I know there's mountain lions up there.
I was gonna say California. Yeah, mountain lions.
You have a lot of. It's not as. I mean, I'm not saying don't hike there, but look, he was experienced by all accounts. He knew what he was doing. But even if you are, it's a pretty dangerous area to be hiking, certainly up high where he was. Because, again, it's weird. You think California, well, it's always warm. I mean, you guys bitch when it's 60 degrees. So,
I bitch when it's 60 degrees.
Yes. It gets quite a lot colder than that at the peak. So I hope he's okay. I mean, do you have... Yeah. I've met him multiple times at conventions. I have a Boxing Helena poster signed by him. I have a Warlock 2 8x10 signed by him. Really nice guy, very polite, and just cool. I don't think I've ever really heard anything bad about him at conventions as far as behavior or anything. He was always a really nice, respectable guy who would actually engage you in conversation. So, really cool. And I'm a big Boxing Helena guy. I love that movie. Troubled production history. Do you have something in particular that you love him in? Lots of movies. He's had a unique career.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of something besides, the Warlock films. Um, Phantom of the Opera? I know.
Oh, you are a Phantom of the Opera guy?
I do like it, but it's not my favorite version, obviously, the Robert Englund. It just
Well,
popped
yeah, I'd
in my head
hope
that that's one of his.
not.
Um, I mean, I love him in Leaving Las Vegas, but his parts,
Mhm.
not giant. It's a hard one. I mean, it's hard for me not to go with something in the Warlock realm. Oh, I mean, and Boxing on Lena. I haven't watched in a long time, but I know you're a big
Mhm.
fan of it, and I know we were just talking about it off air, so I definitely
Yeah,
want to
it's not
revisit.
a film by any means, but goddamn, Sherilyn Fenn never looked better.
No,
Uh, really enjoyed him in that. You mentioned Leaving Las Vegas. I mean, he's had a very full career. I mean, Arachnophobia. He never quite like a lot of other horror icons where they really just started taking paychecks. Not criticizing anybody. That's you got to pay the bills. But he did a lot of indie stuff. Like really, if you scroll through, he wasn't a guy that really, generally speaking, that's not to say that everything he ever did was great, but he didn't really take paychecks the same way others did.
and we will be reviewing one of his newest movies on tomorrow, just
Yeah,
coincidentally.
is his
Oh,
last film as of now. Hopefully not the last film, but
yes. Yeah,
Loss of Sexual Innocence. I remember that was one indie film that I recall him in. I mean, he really he did some TV movies. He kind of had that period with Gothic, the Ken Russell film. Of course, he was great in that.
yeah.
Um, I hope we get a happy ending to this. I know circumstances, don't look great, but hopefully he can pull through it. People have before. People have been lost
Yeah.
longer than 16 days and somehow found a way to survive. But the clock is certainly ticking. Hopefully he's held up somewhere and he's okay.
Yeah, I know. It's no, and no one's really talking about it. I mean, this is, if it was Robert Englund, can you believe the uproar of the community? God, and I hate I uses that, but whatever. But I mean,
But
serious, it's
I don't want to call out like anybody in particular. Obviously, we're talking about the bigger news
yeah,
outlets, but yeah, I think it is kind of the coverage has been kind of disrespectful. I'm not saying it hasn't been mentioned, but I would consider Julian Sands a pretty big deal. He's not an A-lister, but I mean he's had a really good career. He's always good in everything he's in. He was actually in one of the last decent Into the Dark episodes where he
mm,
played like the psychotic boss. I don't know. I do feel like the coverage, and that's why we decided to do it tonight, has been sparse.
so hopefully we're able to give you some kind of update. I mean, hopefully tomorrow we have good news when we do our show and we're reviewing his film. That would be awesome, but we're just
I
hopeful right now.
We're hopeful. I certainly
Well, we're
I'm
staying
not giving
positive.
up hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not giving up hope. It suck. We've lost so many greats in the horror community lately to the point that I just don't want to lose somebody else, especially somebody that's only 65. I
Yeah.
mean, he's a young guy, and that's very very shitty. Uh, Warlock. Now, I don't think we ever did a Warlock show on the
Vestron. No, we had talked about it,
yeah.
but we just never got around to it.
Yeah, I don't think we ever did, unfortunately, but
Yeah.
we probably will at some point.
Yeah, I mean
Um,
that's an easy franchise show in the future.
Absolutely. Hopefully not a memorial show, but either way, we'll definitely cover some of his movies because I've just been looking over his filmography, and there's some gems there that don't get talked about enough. I
Yeah.
think Warlock is one of those films, and of course, it was shot earlier, but had it have come out earlier in the '80s cycle, you might be talking about Julian Sands Warlock in the same breath as a Nightmare on Elm Street. Um, I mean, he became a horror icon of sorts, and I really like Warlock 2, The Armageddon.
Yeah.
That scene where the birth scene where they give birth to a fully grown Julian Sands, I think is one of the cooler horror sequences of the time. And shout out Cliff, Jamie, Daily Ghosts, everybody in the chat, Chris. Share some of your favorite Julian Sands movies. One that I barely remember and I forgot he was in. He did that. He was a villain in a Jackie Chan movie called The Medallion. And it's post Rush Hour, so I don't like a lot of the post Rush Hour.
Yeah, I don't remember that one being very good. One that did just pop in my mind because it's also got a couple other weirdos. It's Vibes with Jeff Goldblum and Cyndi Lauper.
Oh wow. I haven't thought about
Yeah, here we
that
go.
one at
About to
all.
date myself. I saw that theatrically.
Okay, yeah, you're fucking old, Todd.
What year was that? I'm gonna look.
Vibes. I don't have an exact year on Vibes. I want to say
88. There it is.
88. Okay. Whoa, you are old, Todd. The Doctor and the Devils, another good one that a lot of people, and that's on Blu-ray. Watch Gothic though if you haven't watched Gothic.
Yeah, that another Vestron one.
Yep, that is a Vestron title. He always delivered a good performance. Naked Lunch.
Yeah,
I don't know
Naked
how
Lunch.
I didn't mention a Cronenberg title straight off the bat. We were also like looking through like some obscure stuff that we could tackle for him at one point. Tale of the Vampire. That's a movie that really, I mean, it hasn't come out on DVD or Blu-ray, at least in the US. So that could be something that we might do at some point.
Well, Pugs isn't here, but he was also Jor-El on Smallville.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I never watched that, and I'm told I should because it's like the best Superman adaptation and many, well, going back to Christopher Reeve, arguably, just never got into it. It's just too many seasons for me to.
Yeah, I like Superman, and I was not even interested in that.
I've heard it's
I want
really
to see
good.
about Smallville. I'll watch Superman 3, and I'm good.
Yeah. You know, another little movie that I did just think of that he was in, Mercy. Do you remember that one? It came out, there's that era where rated, unrated,
Right.
with
Okay.
kind of an erotic thriller, serial killer movie with Ellen Bark. I want to say 99 or 2000.
Okay. I'm gonna.
Don't quote me, but
Okay,
right
Mercy.
around there.
2000, you nailed it.
Okay. Yeah, he was in that. Ellen Barkin, Peter Wilson, for those that remember.
Yes, the extended international version on DVD.
Some pretty steamy stuff in.
So, is this an erotic thriller, Dan? Is that what you're telling me?
It is. I would say. Well, yeah. I mean, it's also a serial killer movie. It's a little more gruesome than your
average
erotic thriller, but I would say it qualifies. There's some very Wendy Crewson. I remember she had some steamy scenes. Peter Wilson had a lot of steamy scenes. It's kind of like a BDSM serial killer erotic thriller. So,
well, I'm sold.
Yeah, maybe we'll double that up with Boxing Helena.
There you go, done. Perfect.
So again, I don't want anybody to think like we're talking about the guy like he's gone, because there is a chance. Obviously, it's pretty dire. I know they were using some, which I didn't even know this existed, but they have special equipment that can detect like a credit card and all sorts of stuff. I would assume if you're up there, you wouldn't have any cell signal anyways, right? I mean,
yeah, there'd have to be cell towers, but it's a Lambs. Shock they don't.
yeah. I mean, I don't even think, do they even run the ski lifts as much up there anymore?
I don't even know if they do over there.
I know they have them. Now again, you'd be more current because I haven't been in that area in a very long time, but
I haven't either. I mean, I'm not out there hiking, you know.
Yeah. Well, we'll go on a lesser hike maybe next time we're out there. I haven't hiked in California. I mean, I only really hiked in California a few times, but yes. Jamie Hart in the chat. She loves boxing, Helena.
Daily Ghost, also a Vibes fan. There we go.
That's been so long. That's one VHS probably back.
And that was one that didn't make the DVD jump for forever. I mean, I know it made the jump to DVD in the last couple of years, or Blu-ray. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, it missed during that whole '80s run. That when am I? Oh, sorry, that whole DVD run that went MIA.
Oxford Blues mentioned in the chat as well. Watch a Julian Sands movie tonight. There's a lot of great options, but Mercy's one that I did enjoy quite a bit.
I haven't watched Arachnophobia in forever, and I forgot he was in it. I may have to pull that one out.
Yeah, he kind of veered back and forth from indie more indie stuff to some of the studio stuff for a while. Never really became like that leading man that I thought he might be as far as headlining stuff, but he had his time in the sun. He's had a really good career, and we'll try and bring you guys some reviews down the line. But yeah, be careful when you hike, because like I'm a hiker. I'm in no way skilled, but even like some of the much lesser than this hikes that I've done, if you don't prepare, like always bring a backpack with supplies. Obviously this depends where you're hiking, but if potentially bears, etc., could be an issue, bring protection.
Do you have to worry about bears on your hikes, Dan?
No, not where I usually hike.
Okay, no, I was just curious.
But sometimes, but not my normal hike around here. I don't believe so. Anyways, I suppose it's possible, but a lot of snakes that you have to be a little bit careful, particularly if you go off the beaten path. It depends how far up you decide to go, and I try and keep mine. There is a steep area that I go for this waterfall, but a lot of mine is a little bit more of a, not exactly a straight shot, but yeah. Julian Sands obviously is very, very good. I could never hike that area.
But
yeah, always, if you have the backpack, use it, because food is not heavy for the most part. Like, even if it's something you wouldn't consume on the hike, still bring it. Water more likely than not you can get, but you never know. You find yourself in one of those weird positions where you're trapped somewhere. Beef jerky, that doesn't weigh anything. Trail mix, that's really important, because I've luckily nobody's super close to me, but I have known people, in fact one in particular that fell like down a ravine and like broke, I mean, a lot of bones, if not everything. I mean, he was near death, and they didn't find him for a couple days, but a couple days of misery. So it is important. Try and go with somebody. I get it. Like, I do hike alone. I'm not gonna lie. Most of my stuff though is not as dangerous, but shit can go wrong. So be safe out there if you're gonna do that. And if you're not supposed to go somewhere, obey it, because remember, people got to go and try and rescue you, and that's also a consideration, because there have been bad things that have happened to first responders out there as well.
Yes. Come on, horror fans. You've had a lifetime of knowing to stay out of the woods.
Stay out of the woods. Yes.
If there's not bears, there's Jasons and Bigfoot and all that other stuff.
Yes. So guys, we're gonna be right back here at in just a little over half an hour for the Hatman collection update. That is going to be long. Like,
And
you
what
don't
else we got
see
on
it.
there?
Oh, and
We got a
Todd
bonus.
at the top. I didn't know you got it yet. Todd will have a Vinegar Syndrome unboxing at the top of the show, so you won't want to miss it. It's going to be live. It'll be a late one. I know a lot of you've been asking us. Well, just in general, like there's the pandemic era where there were these streams that would go super late. I don't think it'll be like a late night live stream. I don't expect to be with you at 7:30 a.m. where nobody's gone to bed, but it will be a longer one and just a little bit over half an hour. On that note, patreon.com/fleshwound-features. It all starts at just $1. We got some new content. We will have the Secret Santa stuff coming soon, at least the first part of it. And yes, stay safe. And Julian, hopefully you're found safe and sound and we get many more years, many more decades of great movie memories. And you're in our thoughts, man. I hope we have a happy ending to this, but we'll see. Either way, watch a Julian Sands movie tonight because it's a lot of great work. See you guys in just over half an hour. Goodbye for now.
Good night.